The latest teaser trailer for Resident Evil Village has just dropped, showcasing a bit of this upcoming title. If you have not yet seen the trailer, stop watching this video now and watch that reveal trailer. I'll put a link in the description below, then come back.
Take him away.
There's a lot to get into in this reveal, with more promised at Tokyo Game Show in a few weeks' time. I'm Nick, better known as Neptune. Let's take a deeper look at what this trailer revealed. The village itself. A key component of the game, so much so that it appears in the title. We are treated to some new images and teasers of this snowy location. What I like is the colour palette here, and that really does add to the environment. Snow is inherently bright and a lot of time depicted with the sun out on a glorious winter's morning. We couldn't be further away from that image here. It looks rural and intimidating. It looks actually quite claustrophobic, despite I'm sure there being a degree of openness about in the village itself. New scenes depict underground hiding places and tunnels, which only adds to that foreboding atmosphere. Long-term listeners of the podcast will also know that I'm a big fan of the darkened forest scenes, and outside a few moments in Revelations 2, it's never really been done in a Resident Evil game before. Will it be done here? The signs are promising, and the nighttime aesthetic is certainly an intimidating factor and one I'm looking forward to immensely. The animated introduction. Perhaps one of the more surprising reveals was the presence of a 2D animated sequence, bringing Mia's story to life about a mother and daughter who head off into the wilderness to find berries. I have no doubt that this serves as the backstory of the cult's origin and sets up the main narrative of the game. The use of a 2D animation sequence, which is similar in art design to that of a Tim Burton film, I think is inspired. It has been used before in many franchises, including Harry Potter and Star Wars Rebels, to great effect. The reason being is that your mind can fill in the blanks. Do we really need to see the mother and daughter's journey in glorious 3D with the RE engine? Perhaps, but if we are to visit that location later in the game where the daughter is lost, then perhaps it will be an experience best reserved for that initial playthrough when we get to that part of the game. If it is 2D, then it gives a hint of what is to come without ruining the surprise. Your mind is the best creator of fear and tension, and Capcom are feeding it. Think of the slideshow in Resident Evil 1 with the reveal of the Tyrant. It's that sort of thing, and a complete animation sequence can only amplify that fear and tension. The BOWs. This has been the best look yet at what appears to be the standard enemy. Originally feared to be a supernatural werewolf, it is clear that we're not dealing with such forces, but a virus or, with any luck, a mould mutation. The creatures seem to be some sort of hybrid between a licker and a zombie, in that they retain a lot of their human appearances, albeit in a grotesque manner, but they also seemingly have a superior jumping ability and seem partial to sitting on all fours, similar to the licker. We see that they carry weapons and also have a degree of intelligence and hunt in packs as well. How they relate to the storyline we shall wait and see, but we haven't really seen anything like this before in Resident Evil, and makes for an interesting proposition. Let's hope that there is a classic risk-reward mechanic and an effective survival horror element when facing these new monsters in Resident Evil Village. The cult. Against the backdrop of all this have been the humans of the village and their affinity to a cult of sorts. This is shown in more detail with a good look at the symbol emblazed on the floor, including the disheveled Barry Burton lookalike forming a circle and chanting together. This invoked quite strong Silent Hill vibes, and the cult group of that franchise in bringing Samuel into existence. Is this the same sort of thing here? Are we going to be that supernatural? Or is it a local myth to protect residents of the village from who knows what? Either way, it's clear this group plays a key role in the storyline and likely ties into the fable depicted in the new animated sequence. Let's not also forget the trio of spooky ladies from the first trailer. How will they play into this? Leaders of this cult or part of a wider organisation? The possibilities are endless and intriguing at the same time. The Merchant. Tagged right at the end of the trailer, we see this happy chappy. Not a lot can be discerned from it, but he says the line, "If it's just looking, window shop away." This implies he is selling something, and whilst not quite as memorable as the "got some great things on sale, stranger," it fulfills the same concept. it would make an interesting decision from Capcom to reintroduce the Merchant, a human mechanic from both Resident Evil Confidential Report and, more famously, Resident Evil 4. He was unceremoniously dropped in Resident Evil 5 with a mechanic relegated to the menus instead. Smoking in the village, he looks and sounds quite the opposite to the overall tone of the village, at least how it's depicted in the trailer. Let's hope he's not as jarring in the final product, and who knows, he may not actually be a recurring merchant like we saw in Resident Evil 4, but a canonical resident helping out just at the beginning of the game. So there we have it, some of the main takeaways from the latest trailer. Expected in 2021, no firm date has been given, but we can expect a new trailer, possibly an expanded version of this one, at Tokyo Game Show later this month. For more Village news, please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out our other Resident Evil 8 coverage, including our Reveal podcast from July of this year. A direct link is below. Thanks again for watching, and do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and consider checking out our Patreon services too.